Good afternoon. Hi, everybody. It's Friday afternoon. It's the 21st of April. We're happy to come back from spring break and start the final 4 workshops of the semester. And with us this afternoon, we have an alumni, a former member of the Student Leadership Academy, and the former president of the Student Government Association, Hostos Community College, and a very prestigious member of our organization, Sandra Mayflowers. And Sandra, we're really happy to have you here with us today to do this presentation. And so I'll turn this over to you.
Okay, just asking when I need to change, because will I need to be the host, or I'll just press my PowerPoint and it'll be on?
So you're the co-host, so you can put the PowerPoint up right now. Share your screen.
After I spoke for a minute or so.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
Yes.
You're the boss. Yeah. Okay. Well, I just want to say hello, everyone. And I want to thank Jason for allowing me to do a workshop today. I'm very excited that I'm getting the opportunity to do it with my alma mater. And what I would like first is is it Brian? Hi, Brian. Let's see. What about Carlos? If you could come off mute, Carlos. Can they come off?
Yeah, they can come off mute, Sandra. I think some of them are having some there's different things going on. I think Carlos' mic is not working today. You can we could guess Armani or Casey to come off if you like right now, because Armani looks really happy to come off mic right now, and Casey's right there.
Okay. Well, I would ask at least one volunteer to tell me maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes about the Leadership Academy, since they're a part of it. And state your name for me, please.
Would you like me to go ahead?
Definitely. Your
name?
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Okay. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Casey Witter. I'm a part of the student government and also a part of the Student Leadership Academy. When I first started Hostos, I normally saw students like walking around in like the swag SLA t-shirts. I'm like, I want one of those t-shirts. Like, I had no idea what the SLA was, but I wanted one of those t-shirts. I wanted to be one of those people because they look pretty cool, like hanging out with Jason, sometimes by the student counter. That's how I saw Brian too, before I even joined the SB. And I'm like, I don't know what this is, but it looks very interesting. And like, I want to join it because like everything that was happening, like they were always there representing. And I'm very nosy. So like, I wanted to be in the mix. I wanted to know what was going on. Like, I wanted to be, chill with everybody. So like, that was my reason for joining the Student Leadership Academy. And I'm very happy that I did, because I was able to be a part of like many of the workshops that were held. I wasn't the best public speaker, but as you can see now, like if somebody asked me to say anything, like I could step up to the plate, because like I've built the confidence to because of all these workshops, and like I'm able to put myself out there. And if I knew any incoming students, like I definitely suggested them, like, like you should definitely sign up for the SLA. Like it builds character, it builds courage, and like it builds you as a person. So yeah, that's that.
And your
Thank you
name
guys.
again?
My name is Casey Witter. Casey Witter.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Yes. And I'm glad you joined the Academy.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to put up my PowerPoint. And I'm putting up the PowerPoint, and can everybody see it?
Not yet.
Okay, so Jason, here's where I need your help.
So on the bottom of the screen, it should say something share screen with an arrow pointing up. So click on that.
Okay, on the bottom, let's see. Hold on. Okay, share screen. Let's see. Host only. We're getting there. Just give me a second, please.
There you go.
No?
You got it. Yep.
Okay, so if
Mhm.
everybody can see that, then the first part of this workshop, let me just take this. The first part of this workshop, which is called High Top Health Workshop, it says physical movement. So what I'm going to ask everybody to do is we're going to just stand up wherever you are. If you can, just stand up wherever you are. This is going to be a short one. If you can do that, just stand up with me. And if I have to unshare again to do this. Okay. Okay, so we're going to stand up. And we're just going to stretch. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jason?
Yes, we can hear you, Sandra. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So we're just going to stretch our arms for a little bit. Just stand up straight, stretch your arms above your head and your fingers, just rolling up your fingers a little bit. Just rolling up your fingers a little bit. Moving your fingers. Standing up straight, straight like this. Just standing up. Just stretching as high as you can, as high as you can. And I hope you're standing, those who are able. Put your arms down, roll your shoulders back. Just budge this chair a little bit. Just roll your shoulders back a little bit. Roll your shoulders back with me. Roll them forward. This will all make sense soon. This will all make sense. Pat down your right arm, pat it down, pat down your right arm. Pat down your left arm, pat down your left arm. And this is a funny one, but do some eyebrow push-ups. A few eyebrow push-ups. Okay. And shake your right leg out, shake your left leg out, shake your right leg out, shake your left leg out. I hope you're all doing this with me because that wouldn't be fair. Okay, now roll again your shoulders. Roll again your shoulders and forward and gently turn your head to the right. Just gently turn your head to the right. Gently turn your head to the right. Gently turn your head to the left. And backwards as much as you can, and forward as much as you can. And again, roll your shoulders back. Roll your shoulders back. Excellent, Brian. And roll your shoulders forward. Roll your shoulders forward. And then shake your hands like this. Just shake your hands. Those who have hands can shake your hands. If you don't, you got shake your feet. Okay. Okay, hope you feel better with that. So I'm just going to go back to sharing again here. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay. So just give me a second here. Okay, so we're going to go to number 2 in the agenda. It's not that long, but we're going to the introduction. And if you see the question there, why were high top health workshops created? So the reason why I began creating some health workshops was because last year, I'm not sure how much Jason told you about myself, but last year I graduated as a social worker, an MSW now, that's what I am. But I want to be licensed. I'm not licensed yet, and I want to be licensed. So I started studying. There's a lot of studying. And even though I did community organizing, I still have to learn the clinical, because in that test, you've got to do both. So I've had to learn clinical as well. So after learning all the different things, what they're teaching me, and then they're telling you how to prepare for your tests. First of all, they're saying that all of these questions and tests that you're going to do in 1 month, they're saying that you could learn all of this material in 1 month. Well, that's for fast students. I'm not a fast student. I'm a slow student. So it was going to take me more time. But they spoke about getting to the place on time that you have to do the test. They spoke about maybe having a meal. And all of this is like a month before, trying to let you know how to, well, their version of the best way to pass these tests. And a lot of times I've seen them say it, and I've heard it also. People say, oh, well, a lot of people don't pass the test the first time. And so my goal is, first of all, I want to pass the test the first time, because when you don't pass it, you have to pay again. So that's one, too. But I noticed that in the different tips that they were giving for the social workers to pass the test, there was nothing about diet. There was nothing about exercise. There was a lot of different things in there, but it only to do with the academic part. And so this is where I said, no, something is missing, because we're not just mental teachers. We're not just mental, not teachers, students. We're not just mental students. There's a lot more that makes up our mind than just that. And so because my goal is to pass that test, I started to broaden this and really to try to see how can I help students get better prepared for their exams that are coming up. And my goal, that's the reason why these workshops began being created. So this is a series, but this specific one, even it says high top health, instead of putting the brain in there, as far as the title of these workshops that I'm doing, it's your brain. This is the one that I'm talking about. High top, it's just talking about your brain. And the brain, it's not just for academics. There's a lot more things that's what we're going to be going into. But that's the basic reason as to why I started to do this. And it is also, it's material from different research that I've done, my own research, but my own experience, but also different research that I've done. And what I've basically done is pulled out the things that are working for the brain. So that's what this is about, and that's why I'm doing it. And I want to see how these studies can help students do better on their tests if they take maybe 1, 2, or 3 of these to heart and start working on it even now, because I know in May you'll be having your finals. So that's what this is about, and I hope that you can learn from this, and that more than just learning from it, that you will put into practice some of the high top health tips, and that you would, well, we'll deal with the high top health tips first. And I'm going to ask a couple of questions before, in fact, before we go to that slide, let me just ask, and this could be anybody. I know I'm going to give the workshop, but I would like for someone for students to be, to discuss as well with me, okay? So I have a question. When you're going to prepare for an exam, what do you do when you're going to prepare for an exam? Brian, I'm going to pick on you, if you don't mind, that is.
Sure. So we're at number 3.
Yeah, just the question is, when you're going to prepare for an exam, what do you do prior to preparing for the exam? And everybody else get ready, because I might ask a couple of other people.
All right. So up until the point of the exam, I'm gonna study on those particular on that particular subject matter as much as I can, and even the night before. you know, and make sure I get adequate sleep, at least 8 hours. And then in the morning, depending on whatever time the exam is, if I can, I'll try to get something to eat, something substantial to eat. And you know, I'll pray, you know, I'll meditate. I might do some yoga in the morning. But besides that, I just like kind of settle down and slow myself down, because you know we all get a little anxiety right before a test. And yeah, that's how I go about handling the test.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian. And what about you, Carlos? I can see you there. Carlos. I can't hear you though, Carlos. Can you take yourself off mute? Can't hear him. I can't hear Carlos.
I think he has some mic issues, Sandra.
Okay, let's see, who else is there? Can somebody else? What about Carrie? Carrie Whitser, I know you spoke before, but, oh, hold on one moment, Carrie. Is that Carla want to say something?
Oh, hello?
Yes, Carla, would you like to say something about how you prepare when you're going to take an exam for school?
Yeah, sure. So
And
I
how
just try
how soon do you prepare?
to prepare, like mentally.
Just to take an exam. If you're going to take an exam today, how soon do you prepare for that exam?
Oh,
Yesterday, last week?
I mean, in terms of studying, I tried at least like 2 weeks before, but I tend to wait till last minute. Sometimes I end up maybe like a couple days before just scramming. But besides that, mentally, I try to either get a good night's sleep before, even if, you know, I know maybe I'm not as prepared as I want to be, but I think my mind just needs or knows I need that rest. And I feel like when it comes to test taking, I get really nervous. So regardless of what I do, I think I need to just accept that I'm nervous, but you know, at the moment when I do end up in that chair about to take the exam, I just do whatever I can. I mean, I'm there and I try to prepare for it and I just accept it. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
Okay, and I'll have one more person before I go to high top health tips. One more person. I can't, I'm gonna have to go to gallery so I could see who people are. Is there one more person that would like to volunteer and say what they do to prepare for an exam? I'd like one more person to come on.
I could go if that's fine.
Carrie, Casey?
Casey, yeah, it's Casey.
Yes, please go ahead, Casey.
Sure. So preparing for an exam, I like structure. So like I like to set out.
Sorry, Casey, let me just interrupt you for one moment. Can you let me know how soon do you prepare for the test? An hour before, like that? I want to know.
No, at least a week before the test, because like I want to give myself time. So like I'll prepare like a week before. And I like to like write down what exactly I need to study.
Okay.
And I don't love reading that much, so I prefer to like find YouTube videos on the topics that I'm getting tested for and watch those.
Okay, so you watch the YouTube. Okay, great. Okay, so that's something different. So, okay, so now we're going to go to the next slide. Okay, so, all right, so here, I see this. Can I move this thing? Can I move this? It's in my way. Jason. Okay, so high top health tips. So you see it says tips, right? So these are not commandments. I'm not commanding anybody to do anything. And my goal only is to enhance the lives of others. But this particular workshop is to really see if you start to do some of these things, you have between now and when your exams are start coming up. So I've got a few things upon here. So what they're saying is, who likes music out there? Is somebody out there that likes music? Okay, so nobody likes music?
Shanna raised her hand. I think Joey likes music. I know Armani likes music. I've heard
Okay.
Brian listening to music sometimes. I think everybody kind of likes music.
Okay, you said Jelani, was it?
Jelani loves music.
Okay, Jelani, can you take yourself off mute? Is that possible? Okay, so Brian raised his hand. Okay, Brian, can you read that first one with the music for me, please? Well, for all of us. Music is a great way for us. A couple of you've already mentioned that you're anxious because we're going to take a study. This is all about our brain. It's the brain that's dealing with this, and the brain puts up fears that are not necessarily, the fears that are not necessarily real. So let's look at music. Music is another thing that can, Brian, you're going to go ahead.
It says music lifts depression, lowers high blood pressure, and relaxes the mind.
Okay, so this is a tip that I would definitely say, if you do not listen to music, start to find some type of music from now to the time that you're going to start to take your test. Because these are studies, scientific studies that show music can lift depression and it can relax the mind. And if we're basically thinking about studying and test taking, and we want to be as relaxed as possible, because if we're anxious and we have certain fears, the problem is that you might put the wrong answer, because when we're when there's fear there, it immobilizes us and we start to make wrong decisions, and we want to eliminate that. So these tips are tips that can, if you put them into practice, if it's one, you'll see start changing, your brain patterns will start to change. But if you put 2 or 3 or more, you can start to see some results. So so there's music. And is there anyone that loves languages? Okay, I'm going to do that one. Why am I going to do that one? It says learning a new language. People that learn new languages, just like people that listen to music and these other different things and tips, they start to make new grooves in your brain. So when you're learning a new language, that's what happens. There's new grooves in your brain, and they're positive grooves. And all of these things is what we want to be able to have. Is we want the brain to grow and develop as we're taking tests, but not right upon when you're taking the test. You want it to happen before. So learn 10 words of a new language, and it does make the grooves in your brain. And you can go to YouTube. There's over 100 languages in the world. There's a lot more than that, but there's over 100. So when I had to graduate with my bachelor's, I had to learn a new language. So I went to do German, and I ended up going to Germany as part of the study program, but I had to take a language to graduate. So I took German, and it worked on my brain, but it really started to work when I had no choice but to start speaking some German, because they put me with a host mother that didn't speak no English. So I was doomed to really have to start to speak the language, but it's a nice language. And then there are other people that they're growing up, they're bilingual. So their brain is already being stretched then because of that. So I'm just saying, it's a tip. Learn 10, if it's 10 words of new language. I'm learning Mandarin now because it's not just to learn the 10 to stretch my brain, I want to learn the 10 also because I want to be able to discuss with some of my friends or people in the store that do speak Asian, speak Mandarin. So that's another tip. Those are 2 tips there. These tips are not in any order necessarily. They're not in an order, but let's come to number 3 is exercise. Now, before I ask that, how many people exercised this week? Did anybody exercise this week? Besides walking the subway steps, did anybody exercise this week?
No.
Yeah,
Just the people that did are the ones that I want to hear. I heard somebody. Who was that?
me,
What's the name?
Armani.
Amani?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Amani. Okay, so can you tell us what type of exercise you did, if you don't mind?
Well, start off with calisthenics, you know.
Okay. Is that weightlifting?
No, calisthenics, excuse excuse me. Sorry. Calisthenics is just like working on your
Working on what?
core strength.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
No, I didn't hear that.
He said core strengths.
Core strength, core strength.
Oh, core. Okay, core strength. Thank you.
So
Okay.
basically like doing workouts like working sit-ups, working like on your upper body core, like shoulder blades, tricep, bicep.
Okay. All right. So I'm very excited to hear that you're doing that. Amani, is that? Yeah. Okay. So can you read those 2? This is only 2 benefits, but can you read 2 benefits that we can get from exercise, Amani, please? Thank you.
Focus, good for memory.
Okay. Now, we need focus, right? We need focus and we need memory when we're taking our tests. This is what we need. So we have at least 3 different things that we can use between now and when we have to take our finals. These are different things that can help us. If we start, I know it's always the first step is the hardest to take, because why? The body doesn't like change. The mind doesn't like change. But if you want to pass your test and if you want to get better grades, I'm encouraging you to take some of these tips and do it. Now, people will say that they don't have, they can't afford to go to the gym. Well, as far as what I know at Hunter, the gym is free. And I know that at Hostos, I have a pass that allows me to go free there at Hostos. So if we don't want to necessarily walk around the block, when you maybe after class or before class, you could go to the gym. It's free. So these are things, it's not just good for the rest of your body, but for your brain. Everything starts with our brain. So it would be great for students to incorporate exercise, because again, even the material that you're learning, all the academic, the words that you're learning from your classes or writing from the board or reading from Google or YouTube, exercise will help your brain and help even to turn over that information better than if you don't do those things. So that's number 3. Again, they're not in any order, but they're just tips to try to encourage to implement some of these things. Just checking. Okay, now I heard. Well, let me just wait till that one. Let me just see something here. I'm just looking at a paper here. Okay. So what about regularity with eating? This might be hard with college students, but when I say regularity with eating, if we eat at breakfast at 8 o'clock, do we eat at 8 o'clock every day? Or lunch? Is there anybody here that can say that they eat at the same time, or approximately, I would say within an hour or an hour or two, the same time every day? Is there anybody that does that? And if I don't hear anyone, I would believe that it's because nobody does do that.
No,
Okay.
I can't say nobody, but I don't. You got
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, to keep track of the time that you eat, you don't really do. I don't really do that. You eat when you're hungry, pretty much. You eat snack, dinner. I mean, people say, oh, there's certain times when you eat, like say 12 o'clock is lunchtime, in the morning, 8, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock is breakfast, and then dinner time is like after 6. But nobody, well, nobody that I know, or I don't eat at the exact time.
Okay.
Exact time.
And who was that?
Armani again.
Armani? Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Armani. Okay. Yeah, thank you for your response. Again, these studies are to promote wellness for your brain. And again, they're to help your memory. And so regularity in eating meals is it's a very great tool to be able to help your memory. Because if you have a class at 9 o'clock, you're going to make sure you get to that class at 9 o'clock. Why? Because you want to be on time for the class. You don't want to miss anything. And
What
so,
about?
hello?
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna ask a question. You can finish though.
Well, I'm not finished yet. So if
Yeah, I
you
know.
can
That's
ask
what I
a
said.
question, you can ask your question.
Oh, what
and I'll
about
continue.
a person with OCD?
What about them?
Like that would probably be a person that with obsessive compulsive disorder. That could be a person that you could say, oh, they might eat at the same exact time because it's like a compulsion. I don't want to. I'm not assuming because I don't have it, but from things that I've seen, some person may feel compelled to just eat at the same exact time, as like compulsion. I'm just asking, is that?
Yeah, okay, so that's something else, because yeah, it is people that have regular meal times are not, well, let's put it this way. You can have people with OCD that can have regular meal times, but that has nothing to do with people that have a regular habit of eating on time. For them, it has nothing to do with OCD. I believe we're given 168 hours in the week to use, and planning your meals and eating at a regular time, it helps the memory. Studies have shown that it does help the memory. So eating meals at the same time, it helps the memory. Going to sleep at the same time, all of these things its regularity will help promote brain health. That's what we're dealing with, brain health. But that does not mean that people with OCD will not do that. That's actually good if they do that, because regularity in eating meals at a time is good. And we will get back more to the meals that are eaten, because there's more to it than that, but we'll do that in the next slide. So that's what I would say on the regularity. It is there's different, like I said, studies that show if you eat at the same time within certain time, it works to help the memory. Okay, so anybody else wanted to comment on that? Okay, now sleep. I'm very happy that a couple of students that were speaking about what they do before they sleep, before an exam, is that they get good rest. It's great that you get good rest, and the goal here is that you don't just get it the night before. Between now and when you're going to take your finals, you start getting more rest. Start getting more rest for you, because sleep is becoming, well, as a nation, we're becoming very sleep deprived. And we can give lots of different reasons, especially studying. Because I remember when I had to do a social work essay that was in sociology at Hostos, I had to stay up the whole night. I was up until 3 or 4 in the morning. My eyes were running red, just so I could finish the paper. So I've learned a little bit. I've learned a lot more now, though. I have to manage my time better so that I don't do that to myself. It's not fair to your body. It's not fair to your brain. And we want our brains to be, we want to take care of our brains better. So sleep, it is something that we need, and we need a certain amount of sleep so that we can function better. It also helps your memory if you sleep. And I just want to add a note there that they say that when you sleep, it's better to have all the lights off. And that, let me see, is it Joel? Oh, I can't remember who was with the phone, but even having the lights off on your phone, having the lights off from the TV, just being in the dark. Like if you're going to meditate, some people may meditate in the light, but a lot of people meditate in the dark. So when you're going to sleep, they're saying just turn off everything and tune down, because it has to do with how the body works, how the brain works. So keep those things in mind when you're going to sleep tonight. Milestone, don't worry about that. That I couldn't get it off. So another thing about taking tests, no one said that, but this is a way that you can also help yourself. If you have problems remembering material, you can record yourself. This is not something that I did. You can record yourself. I like to write, but you can record yourself. If you don't want to record yourself, you could have somebody else record. Like you can have someone read for you. Hopefully they'll do it for free. Someone can read your material, put it on a recorder, and then you can listen to it. So those are different ways. These are different ways that you can help your brain so that when it's time for you to take that test, you are ready for that. And, don't do it the night before. I would say from now or a few weeks, start doing some of these things that you may not have done, because sometimes it could, depending on the mind, for some people, they could just put one thing into practice one day, and then their brain just starts working. It opens up a vista for more. The brain wants more. Sometimes we have to challenge the brain. So that is something that you can use these things to help yourself. And another thing is drawing pictures. Now, I wasn't sure if where is she? Who is the student? She looks on YouTube. I'm not sure if you look at pictures or what it is that you exactly look at, but do we have any artists? Are there any artists on this Zoom? Any artists, any type of artists, especially those that maybe draw? Any artists in the academy? No artists in the academy?
They may not be, may not be on this call, but we have a few artists, yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is drawing is something that can help with your brain too. So if, like, for example, how would I say, for me, I like to make dolls. So if my questions or things were coming up about dolls or puppets, then I would start writing, okay, this is this puppet, and I can make stories out of those puppets. So if it's something that is difficult, you might not be able to think about it in your head, but just start to draw it. Maybe you can do 5 pictures. Start with 1, but maybe do 5 pictures, and then you can title the pictures. If it's maybe a math thing, you could title it and say, oh, this is part this, but it's a picture. And if you can do it with something that you like doing, just draw little pictures. And these are different ways to also excite and help your memory. And I've done that with little books, but that was when I was doing theater. I made little books, of little cartoon books. In fact, that's where I started drawing, is where making little cartoon books about plays in my head, but then started to draw them. Okay, this is this, this is this. And then it helped, those things also helped me. So I haven't done recording. I do go to sleep. This is the one thing that I would say is that we all do is sleep. And I'm hoping that there's nobody here that does not sleep, because without sleep, you really have, you're gonna get some mental issues, not good ones. So that's, I think that's it. Does anybody have any comments or questions in that section? Any comments or questions in that section? Okay. Okay, so high top health edibles. Again, going back to the introduction, when they never gave any information about diet or what to eat, but all of these things can, when you're taking tests, it can depend upon what you eat and when you eat on a test. Okay, so certain things that you're not going to want to eat when you're taking a test, right before a test. And again, these are tips that I'm giving you. I also do veggie education as I'm a what do you call it? I'm a community chef, but I'm also a serve safe manager. So I deal with food all the time. But again, I'm concerned more about the brain because I'm a studier like you. But when I'm taking exams, I want to pass them. So I don't necessarily want to know all the things that help my feet. I don't want to know that. I want to know the things that are going to help my brain. And a lot of these things that I'm going to share with you right now, once you start doing things, it can help you. And even studies have shown that can help you even down the road. But this is where we're at now. But if you start to incorporate some of these things, it will help you down the road. So I heard, I believe it was 2 people say that they have breakfast. So I'm very happy when I hear that people have breakfast, because studies also show breakfast is one of the most important meals. It's calling break fast. Can somebody tell me why is it called breakfast? And somebody mentioned breakfast in there when they were speaking about what they do before they take an exam. So I would like, maybe they could say, why do they think it's called break fast?
Hello,
Yes, say your
I would
name.
like to answer. I would like to answer.
Can you say your name, please?
My name is Leighton Nick Osorio.
Okay. Okay, Leighton. So tell us, did you have breakfast today? Honestly?
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. Okay.
Now
And
I think it's called breakfast because you have to break the fasting habit. Fast is when you starve yourself in the name of God. So you break the fast by eating.
now repeat that, please.
Yes. Fasting is a religious word. Fasting means abstain from eating while you're praying. And when you say break fast, use the word break in the beginning. Habit.
Okay, so that's one way of looking at breakfast. The traditional way that we're looking at this is because your body has been fasting through the night. The body has been fasting through the night. It could be, I'm hoping not spiritual, but it has been fasting, supposed to be. Now, let me put that in there. And there's a reason why I'm saying that. Your body is supposed to have been fasting through the night. So when you wake up, you do your rituals, and then you're breaking that fast. Generally, traditionally, when we talk about breakfast, it is the breaking the food fast, because we're not supposed to be eating it like at night, and we're breaking that fast, and that we're eating. But in another way, people have a fast break of food before they go to bed, which physically is not the best thing for people to do. The breakfast, has anybody heard of Kellogg, Dr. Kellogg? Did someone say yes?
Yes, we've heard of him, Sandra.
Oh, yeah, okay, so Dr. Kellogg is one of the doctor, well, right now, it's like the family, it's an organization, it's a company, but Dr. Kellogg goes way back to like the 1800s. It's that Kellogg Corporation, but it goes way back. They started breakfast cereals because they saw that it was important for students and for children, people going out and they were not having breakfast. And the breakfast cereal started by the Kellogg organization, and it's just been going. And breakfast is really important because if you eat 3 meals a day, right? You eat 3 meals a day, plus you're having snacks during the day as well. A lot of people do that. They have 3 meals and they have snacks during the day. So then your body is constantly working. It's constantly working. And if your body is constantly working, your brain is constantly working. Now, if you go and eat a fast break, which is, supper is another name for that. So if you're eating a fast meal before you go to bed, then your brain is not getting the rest that the rest of your body is supposed to be getting. And again, we want energy in our brains. So eating before going to bed is not the best way to take care of your brain, because your brain will be working on digestion, even though it's slowed down, when it should not be working at all. It should be getting the rest that everyone else needs. And worse, if you have to take a test in the morning. And what people do sometimes is, if they've eaten the 3 times during the day, plus they've had the snacks, and then they have a fast break, which is before they go to bed, then your body is just constantly working. So when you wake up in the morning, you may get this feeling that you think it's hunger, and it's not hunger. Your body is telling you need a break. So is it Leighton Osorio? Oh,
Yes.
yeah, Leighton, can you read what having a breakfast, a small one, a large one, can do for you? Can you read those 2 points there, please, for us?
Sure. Breakfast boosts your alertness, boosts your energy, gives better memory and concentration.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So there's no substitute for that. And I know that most of us, well, I don't want to say most of us, a lot of us, because of the traditional way, well, I don't want to say that, because when I was small, we had to have breakfast before we left. We had to have breakfast. But when we get older, we just do away with breakfast for different reasons. We don't have time. Sometimes it could be because we don't have food either. So that's another story. And if that's the case, you can see me as a social worker, because we don't want students not to have food. Most of our colleges have pantries now. We're not supposed to have students that cannot eat breakfast because they don't have food. So that is, that's one. Let's see. So these are some things, again, research is showing these things, that they do studies on different people, and they do studies on the brain. And so now what we're doing here is we're going over some of these things. And again, breakfast is there at the top, because breakfast, I would say, is very important. And it's not that these are in a special order, but I will just discuss on some things. So if anybody in this, except the water, because that one I want to go into something with that. So anybody here that likes any of these things, please say, and then just read that one. If you like number 5, lemons, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Just say, just read that. Maybe the people that have not read anything or said anything. Is Chris, can Chris unmute Jason? Is he willing to say something?
Everybody
Can I
can,
read? Oh,
yeah, go ahead, Carla. Everybody can unmute Sandra.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, Chris will take you next, but Carla, do you have something that you like up there?
Yes, I love chocolate, but I really like dark chocolate. I can read number 8.
Please do.
Okay, it says improves brain function, improves blood flow to the brain, and improves attention.
Okay, okay, so do you eat that a lot, Carla?
I'm sorry?
Do you eat that a lot?
Often, yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so those are some of the results that they're saying, that they improve brain function, and they have less fat also in those type of chocolates. So this is something that, again, we're working on things for your brain. So you may not want if you've been eating the other chocolate, maybe you could switch to the dark chocolate. Anybody else? I know it's
Okay,
hard to get
Water.
fruits.
Hello,
Who?
my name is Melanie.
Okay, Melanie. Which-
Water, of
Okay.
course.
Yeah. All right. Now with the water, can I just hold you for that for a minute?
Yes.
Okay, so just don't forget. Is
Okay.
it Mr. Sambula? I can't see your first name. Chris.
wow,
Chris,
okay,
what do
wow.
you
it's
like
been-
up there?
Okay, okay. Can you hear me?
I can.
That's good. Thank you for having me. Happy Friday to all my people here. Thank you, Miss Sandra, for this awesome workshop. So I'm gonna get right to it. So like Carla mentioned, I like dark chocolate, and I have a question. Dark chocolate, what brand? Oh, what we're talking about?
What are we talking about?
Yeah, no, because for me, I like dark chocolate, but I tell you what brand, like what brand is good in regards to big function, for blood flow to brain and
Well,
attention.
yeah, you have to look for them in the store. I think it's KCCO. I can't spell it, but you can look up dark chocolate. You can go to Google and look up dark. I'm not somebody that recommends like a specific product on dark chocolate, but you may see it when I come to there's another slide that I will show, but I don't necessarily recommend a dark chocolate because I don't eat it. So, but I know that they say it improves brain. You can look for the ones that have low sugar in them, if they have sugar, low sugar, and also maybe, who was it? Whoever said that they like the chocolate, maybe she has a brand that she could recommend to you.
That's good, because like Carla has mentioned, I also agree with food number 8, because I also like it as well, and I don't eat it all the time, because I try to be healthy, X, Y, and Z, but yeah,
Mhm.
and pretty much, you know what I'm saying, right? So we good, you good, I'm good, whoa, good, Jason is good as well.
Okay,
Which one Carla is good as well, but I'm good.
okay, Chris, that you don't have anything else on this list that you might eat or like? I guess not. Okay, well, is there anyone else, not the water yet, because we're going to get to the water, but is there anyone else? If not, then I will
I like,
take. Yes, who's that?
this is Maria. I like lemons.
You like what?
Lemons.
Oh, you like lemons. Okay. So you said it's Maria?
Yeah.
Okay, Maria. So can you read that about the lemons, please? Because it might
Yeah.
surprise some people.
Yeah. Lemon water is great for the brain function. It contains potassium, which helps to facilitate blood to the brain, and the brain functions better.
Yes. Okay, so that is, it's just plain and simple. That's what lemons do. And when we talk anything on here, when I'm talking about it, except the chocolate, the water, and maybe the salmon, this is the natural things, It's really is good because lemon, it's like a body cleanser as well. It's a body cleanser. So when people talk about, when they talk about the heart, and I'm not trying to go to art, I just want to show you that the brain, the brain also is important. Like when people talk about plaque, they're always talking about the arteries are clogged up. We only talk about the heart or like the arteries, actually. It's the arteries that I'm thinking about. But we have in the brain gets clogged up with a lot of junk and it has to be cleaned out. We want to be able to what? We want to be able to think, not just think, but we want to be able to think quick, because the test that we usually have a certain amount of time to answer those questions or write those essays. And so these different things are what's to help us. Now, blueberries is number 2 there, and blueberries improves the memory and attention. These are scientific things that have been well, actually, they've been shared with us for a long time, but people, maybe because they don't like the taste of them, but blueberries improves the memory and attention. And this is the type of thing that we want when we're taking tests. They're not going to teach you this in a class. Okay, so I'm saying, and I'm encouraging you, again, look up some of these things. I can email this to Jason, but I do believe he's taping it, so you'll get it as well. Strawberries, any kind of berries, they're good for the brain. These are things that are recommended for the brain. Strawberries, studies show improved memory, high in antioxidants, and improved concentration. So it's not just give blueberries like when it's February the 14th. No, blueberries we want to take, and strawberries and blackberries, we want to have these things before we take exams, several weeks before we take exams. Put yourself on this program and start to see changes in your mind. For instance, if Jason or someone else starts speaking, and then all of a sudden they forgot what they were talking about. When you see that there'll be a difference with your brain function, if you're doing these things, you'll be able to remind them, oh, you were talking about this. And they'll be able to say, oh, thank you, Jason. So these are the things that can happen to you if you start to implement some of these things. And again, I know that the first step is the hardest step, but once you take that step, your mind will become even more open. So we have blackberries, helps the memory, cleans up plaque, it boosts brain power, and it's high in antioxidants. Was that somebody that came on, or somebody wants to say something? Okay, so let's continue. Now, we can read here the almonds, pistachios, and walnuts. There is a nut there that is shaped like the brain. That's an easy one. Does anybody know which of those nuts is the one that looks like the brain?
Walnuts.
Who was that?
Estelle.
Gladys. Was that Gladys?
Estelle.
Oh, Estelle.
Oh,
Okay.
Estelle, okay. We both said it.
Estelle and who? Gladys?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got points. You got points. Okay, so Estelle, why don't you read the walnuts, and then Gladys, you get ready to read the almonds and pistachios.
Walnut top nut for brain health. Oh, that's it, right?
Yes.
No?
Read it again.
Walnut top nut for brain health.
Yes, it looks like a brain, and that is there because it is one of the best nuts for the brain. They don't taste great, honestly. I mean, I eat them a lot, but they don't taste great, but I know that they're good for my brain because I want to pass my test just like you do. And so I will eat certain things that I don't like necessarily because I know that they are good for my brain. And is it Estelle? No. Can read the
It was Gladys.
Gladys, please read the almonds and pistachios.
Help improve memory, help on best brain foods. They have nutrients important for brain health.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So is it Estelle? I'm sorry, I stopped you, but you need to read the one about improves because that actually does go with the walnuts.
Okay, so the walnuts
Yes,
improves cognitive performance in adults, almonds and pistachios.
Okay, you're done. You're done with your part. Okay, and Estelle, read that one again, please.
From the top or just the improves?
Well, I want whoever read help improve memory. read that one again, whoever read that.
Gladys.
Okay, Gladys, can you do that, please? There's a reason why, one, that I want you to repeat certain things, because we want to get it in our mind. Go ahead, Gladys.
Sorry, I lost internet for a little bit. Okay, help improve memory, top on best brain foods. They have nutrients important for brain health.
Yes. Okay, so these are what nuts do. Nuts as almonds, pistachios, walnuts, and you can also make your own almond milk. There's things that we can use. Maybe you don't want them in that form, but you can make a milk from it. Now, the one thing I just want to caution about nuts, nuts are full of protein too. So the problem with nuts is you don't want to have more than a handful when you're going to eat them, like at a certain time. I know that we have a problem to do that, especially if it's that peanut container. We just want to eat all of the nuts up, but you might have a problem with digesting them. If we just take a handful of nuts, that would be sufficient for a meal, or what we're going to have with the meal if you're going to eat it with fruit. So the nuts are very good, but they're better when you just eat a few, like a handful, because it takes a while for the body to break them down. That's the only caution I would say about nuts, but I would definitely say eat nuts in abundance. Like from now till you take your exams. So that's what it is for nuts. Now, okay, we did the chocolate already. I think we have a couple more to do here. Who loves salmon? Does anybody eat salmon?
Yes, almost every day.
I love that salmon.
Okay, somebody that didn't speak, can you read the salmon one and tell us when was the last time you had it? Oh, boy.
This morning.
Oh, this morning? Okay, can you read it, please?
Salmon is full of omega-3 fatty acids, very beneficial for your brain. Helps to retain new and old information. And ice. Nice. Oh, no,
Okay.
that's just a nice.
Actually, that means no. That's a note for me, and ice is something else. Okay, just give me one.
I love salmon.
Yeah, sorry about that. That was the security trying to get me out, but I told him I need a few more minutes. Let me just say that's not nice. What it is it's a note. Like if you're buying ice or any type of food in a package and you see all of that furry stuff that looks like snow, don't get it. Don't buy that type of ice, that package, because what's happened is it has thawed out and then they've just put it back in, and that's not good because that's how things get contaminated, and we don't want to get contaminated because we don't want to get sick. So always be careful about how you buy certain things. And I'm going to go to the next, sorry. I want to go back to the beets. Beets increase blood flow to the brain and they improve cognitive function. Beets can be baked, they can be eaten raw. And when I do live demonstrations, I actually use beets a lot because they're so versatile. They're full of iron. This is things that we need for our brains. I know you're not going to hear it in class. It might be boring, but again, this is to help our students with brain function so we can pass our tests and have a better mental health. Oranges protects your mental health. It boosts brain health and it fights against cognitive decline. And now this comes back to, if you continue to do some of these things, that even Alzheimer's, they're saying that Alzheimer's, these type of things clear your brain. They clear your body, like your system. And so they also help to clear your brain once they're broken down and that thing has done its job. So we want anything that's going to help boost brain function. So you're getting some different things here that people are not necessarily going to get. But these things right here are very important. High top edibles. Okay. Where's the water at on this picture? Hello? Do you see water there?
At the bottom.
Yes, at
Bottom.
the bottom,
Right. Okay,
and
so,
salsa water in the middle. I mean,
yeah,
second to last row.
yeah. So, Melanie,
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm here. Can you hear me?
okay, Melanie, so you can read number 9 on water, please. Read number 9.
Number 9, water, faster decision-making, improved performance on cognitive tests.
Test.
And that's test, sorry, BR.
Yeah. Okay, so the note is for me. People say that they don't want to drink water because they have to go to the bathroom. Well, this is what I'm going to say. Go to the bathroom. We need to drink water. I'm upset that the water is at the bottom of the vending machine and not at the top, because a lot of these others are contaminated with a lot of sugars and caffeine. And what we want while we're taking a test, we want to have a clear mind. So if we're not drinking water, let's start to drink some water. Let's start drinking water as of today. Let's start to drink some water, because it's not just, it's good for the rest of the body, but it's also good for your brain too. Okay, that is a definite, because as a nation too, we don't drink enough water. They have these studies on TV a lot. We don't drink enough water. We need to drink water. And let me see. I'm not sure what your school vending machine is like, but I know I don't want to say the school, but I know that that's the case in a lot of other schools. The water is always at the bottom. And but the best clear liquid for your body is water, and it can save us from a lot of problems. Now, just before
Sandra, and also piggyback to what you say, it's also expensive.
it's what?
It's always expensive than soda.
It's more expensive?
Yep.
Okay, well,
Water.
yeah, it's, well, it's more expensive than the drinks, but the problem is down the road, these same drinks that are cheap can cause a lot of other issues, which can put the medical bill up. And what we're trying to do, especially with our students, is to do prevention, not before, prevent. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So at the end of the road, we don't want to be sick because of some of the junk in some of those drinks. I hope that the vending machine people.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Hello, hi. I know there are so many different types of water, like Aquafina, Core, Essentia. They have like so many different waters saying alkaline and, just like, is there a specific type of water that we should be drinking that provides, because I know some people like, they drink this type of water, it's better for you, but they're like selling water. And it's just like, isn't all water good for you?
Okay, so, well, it depends. There are different types of waters, but it's, even if you have good water and if the bottle is contaminated, that's where there's issues. But unfortunately, I don't have the time to go into it. But one that I do know is very good is Fuji. It doesn't have the chemicals that are in it. Again, that's really it's an in-depth study with beverages, which I can't really do now. But if New York tap water is good if you can put like I forgot what they call it, but if you could put like a filter on it, and then like I said, it depends on the bottles, and unfortunately, I can't go into that. If Jason, if you can take that student's name, and I can give more information on that, but I just can't really go through it right now. But try to drink some water, because no matter what, it's going to be definitely better than some of these things here, because they're high in sugar, and we're trying not to do that for tests. Okay. I'm winding down because they're going to close soon. Now, this is how beautiful these brain foods work for us. Don't they look beautiful? the one thing I would say on this, these are the foods, these are the beetroots in the front, these are the walnuts, almonds, salmon, and then the chocolate in the back, but I'm not sure what make it is. But also one last thing I wanted to say to the lady that just asked about the water. Alkaline water is good. A certain amount of alkaline, like seven-ish, because that's what the body is. So that's another thing. And there's also a study that I do with alkaline foods and acid foods. Not today, but maybe down the line or something. But in regards to the water, look for those that are in alkaline, and then also the water that is in bottles, glass bottles. So those are some choices. Until you can, maybe working or can do better, just try to incorporate, even if it's 2 bought bottles as opposed to some of the other things that you're drinking. Please, these are the things that are good for the brain, all the things that I mentioned in high top health edibles. And then again, go back and go over some of the high top health tips. These are not commandments. They're not, it's not a military thing here. I'm a student, I'm still learning, and I want to be able to share what I know, again, because I know you're not going to get this, you're not going to get any of these things in a one book, and you're not going to get them taught from a class. So I want to thank you very much for allowing me to do this. I don't know if anybody has a question. They didn't kick me out yet. So I could address a couple of things from the lady that asked about the water. So like I said, Fuji is a good one because it has the carton is very good, but there are a lot of cartons that on the bottom or near the barcode, there are numbers that we should not, they have certain types of chemicals in them. And then if the bottles are heated, those chemicals go into the water. So you end up eating drinking these chemicals. And these are facts. You can see them online. I believe number 7, 8, 6, you can see these on different types of bottles. You can see them at the bottom or at the barcode label. That's how you learn about what we're drinking and eating. So is there any questions?
There was a question in the chat, Sandra, about should you drink half of your body weight every day?
Okay, so this is the thing when it comes to water. The best time to drink some water, that question, Jason, I'm not sure about that question, but I can tell you a little bit about water. It's good to drink maybe some warm water when you wake up just to heat up the stomach, but we should not be drinking red hot water or real cold water because it disturbs your brain. It does something to your brain. But if it's really hot, you can destroy the fine membranes in your throat. And after a while, it's not good for you. But it's better to not eat and drink together. I know people don't like that, but the way it works for your body is drinking between your meal. Like if you eat and drink, you're diluting the hydrochloric acid that's in your stomach. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So you want to.
Can I contribute to that?
Sorry, one more thing. So, and also you don't want to drink lots of water all at once because you can get rid of the electrolytes. So drink some in between your meal, drink some more. But they say 6 to 8 glasses a day. I can't really say that because we're all different weights. And I don't, that I would never prescribe that. But we do need water. In another study about beverages, there's a lot more that I could say about water, but can't really do it now. I think you're supposed to drink 2 liters of water a day. Well, again, that question is, we're all different body weights. We're all different body weights. And so but we do need water, and we're not as a nation drinking enough water as we should. Some people are, but you can feel faint. You can feel confused if you don't have enough water in your system. So before you go run into the doctor, oh, I've got this, I've got that, drink some water, and you'll be surprised how water can revive you. So that's
There were
what.
2 more questions in the chat, Sandra. One was about hot showers.
Okay.
And
What
the other
about-
one was that, does it affect your body in any way?
Well, you can't have it too hot because then you'll burn yourself. But if you're really into showers, the best way to keep your body is if you have a hot shower, because it's opening up your pores, you close with a cold one. And it's very, very refreshing. I've been doing that for years. It's very, very refreshing. We'll do a beauty workshop soon or something like that, maybe down the line, Jason. But yes, hot showers are okay, but just not too hot.
And then there was a question about sparkling water or seltzer water.
Yes, people, that is okay. They're saying that people can drink it, but the best is just clear water. People can drink sparkling water. You just have to make sure you look on the bottom to make sure that they don't have certain chemicals in there. You look up the bottle, you can look up online and see the chemicals. I think it's ABDs they call them. But sparkling water, they use that a lot in Germany because it has a way of doing something to the water to make it okay for us.
Okay.
Was that it?
Yep. Well,
Okay.
Maria's given some pointers in the chat. Maria is a nurse.
Okay.
She has some information for people in there. So if you want to
Okay.
read the chat, you can see that as well, folks. Where are we?
Can I
Any
just
other
say
questions?
thank you? Thank
Yeah.
you, Jason, for allowing me to give the workshop. I was very excited that I was going to be doing it. I was in New Hampshire counting down the days. And then you see I had all of this trouble and issue I came early, but it's okay because there's always some kind of drama around anything that I'm trying to do.
It's okay, Sandra. We understand technical difficulties. So I just want to say, thank you to you. It's always a great opportunity to bring back former members of the group to give presentations, and we've been doing that for a few years. And I'm glad we were able to work this out so that you could do this today. I appreciate the time and the effort that you put in to talk about something that's really important as we get towards the finals time. And everybody should be concentrating on not only just passing their test, but also maintaining their health, their mental wellness, and their ability to sort of really pass their tests with great strength and not fall into the weaknesses that we sometimes fall into when we're in the exam time. So thank you for doing that. And I want to thank everybody who's here today for being here and sharing in the chat and communicating and reading some of the stuff on the PowerPoint. I appreciate it. Thank you for working through it with us on the technical difficulties. That happens. Pretty soon we're going to be back in person, so we won't have any technical difficulties to blame things on. It'll just be whatever's happening in the room.
Yeah. Well, can I come back and do a public speaking workshop?
Of course.
Okay, great. Got all these witnesses?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
And it's
I'm gonna-
recorded for time and more. So
Yeah.
it's here.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. I'm gonna sign out because they locked the door. They gave me extra time here. I'm at Silberman. So thank you very
so
much,
Sandra.
everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. And
Yeah,
we'll
you
see
too.
you all
Thank you,
next week.
everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
3 more workshops before the end of the semester. And
Have a
I hope
good day.
all of you are signing up for the passing the torch ceremony. We hope to see you on the 23rd. So we can
Okay,
write.
bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Bye.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday.